All over the world, truck fleets roll on Timken tapered roller bearings. And to keep things moving, those bearings need proper care and maintenance. Most bearing maintenance should be familiar to you as nothing more than good shop practice. Throughout the maintenance procedure, from removal to reassembly, our prime concern is not to damage the bearing, shaft, or housing. That's why it's important to use the proper tools and equipment. Let's look at the removal of a cone first. In a wheel bearing application where you have a stationary shaft and a rotating housing or hub, the cone is loose-fitted and usually easy to remove. But when the application involves a rotating shaft with a tight-fitted cone, as in transmissions and differentials, removal is more difficult. If you think you may be able to reuse the bearing, the cone must be removed from the shaft with care. We recommend that you use a bearing puller or press. Properly used, these tools pull through the cone only, letting the cage rotate freely. They also make the job much easier. If a bearing puller or press isn't available, a bar of mild unhardened steel may be used to drive the cone off the shaft. Be careful to hit only the cone face. Hardened steel drifts, center punches, and so forth should not be used because they'll damage the cone, cage, or rollers. If you need to replace either the cup or the cone, you should also replace the mating cup or cone. While in service, a cup and cone will become mated with a specific wear pattern. This pattern may not allow a new cone to mate properly with the old cup, and as a result, the life of the bearing may be shortened. You can easily inspect a cup for wear while it's still in its housing without removal. But if part replacement is indicated, remove the old cup from the housing using a mild steel bar. After removal, the cones should be cleaned if there's any chance they'll be reused. Use a suitable solvent such as kerosene or mineral oil. Never use water or steam, as the moisture causes rust. After you've cleaned the cone, it should be dried. If you use compressed air, hold the cage with your thumb and direct the air from the roller end inward. Be sure the air system has a moisture trap. Wear eye protection. Warning: do not spin the bearing at any time with the air gun, because the rollers may escape from the cage and fly out from the bearing, creating the risk of being struck. Next, carefully inspect the clean cone. Look for spalling, pitting, or corrosion. Check the cage to make sure it hasn't been damaged from improper removal or from previous assembly. Any tapered roller bearings that show this type of damage should be discarded. Reusing a worn or damaged bearing could result in early bearing fatigue, causing expensive equipment downtime.